Stand upon these ancient walls in the spring of 1453, and you would feel the very ground begin to slowly tremble with quiet, creeping dread. For 1100 long years, Constantinople had never once fallen to any single conquering army, protected by walls that no force could break. But outside those walls waited a young and ambitious sultan named Mehmed the Second, obsessed with claiming the one city that always resisted him. He had built the largest cannon the ancient world had ever witnessed, a monstrous bombard able to shatter solid stone with one deafening blast. Inside the city, Emperor Constantine the Eleventh quietly prepared to defend the last fragment of an empire that once ruled the known world. His exhausted soldiers numbered barely 7,000 men, facing an Ottoman force stretching for miles beyond the horizon like a living sea. The desperate Byzantines held one final hope, a massive iron chain stretched tightly across the Golden Horn to block enemy ships from entering. Mehmed refused to accept defeat, ordering engineers to build long wooden rails and drag entire warships overland through the night by moonlight. By dawn, terrified defenders looked out in horror to see Ottoman ships floating impossibly inside the harbor they believed was sealed forever. Panic spread quickly through the narrow streets as merchants and soldiers alike realized the sea itself had betrayed them at the worst moment. For 53 brutal days, cannon fire thundered endlessly against the ancient Theodosian Walls,
day after day,
still standing unbroken since Roman times. Every single night, citizens gathered in candlelit churches, praying that the Virgin Mary would once again protect her sacred dying city. Every single morning, they woke to find fresh cracks spreading slowly across stones that had defended their ancestors for 11 long centuries. The emperor rode along the ramparts himself, night after night, refusing comfort, sharing the same exhaustion and fear as his weary soldiers. Food supplies steadily dwindled as the siege dragged on, and quiet whispers of surrender began circling through the desperate, hungry population. Constantine refused every offer of surrender, declaring boldly that he would rather die defending his people than live on abandoning his city. On the night of May the 28th, an eerie, unnatural silence fell over Constantinople, heavier and far more terrifying than any cannon blast. Church bells rang out slowly across the ancient city as thousands gathered together for what many believed would be their final prayer of all. Outside the walls, Ottoman soldiers sharpened their blades by torchlight, listening as their sultan promised 3 days of unrestricted plunder. Just after midnight, the final assault finally began. Endless waves of soldiers crashing against the walls beneath a sky lit by burning arrows. The irregular troops came charging first, sacrificed only to exhaust defenders before the elite janissaries advanced steadily through the smoke. Constantine fought bravely alongside his remaining soldiers, refusing to retreat even as the ancient walls around him began collapsing inward. Somewhere amid the chaos, a small unlocked gate known as the Kirk Porta was discovered, and Ottoman soldiers poured silently through unnoticed. Within only minutes, Ottoman banners rose triumphantly above the inner walls, and defenders realized their ancient city could no longer be saved. Constantine reportedly tore off his royal insignia, refusing to be captured alive, and vanished forever into the final desperate chaos of battle. His body was never confirmed with total certainty, and to this very day, historians still debate the emperor's final, unmarked resting place. By morning,
daybreak,
Ottoman soldiers flooded through the shattered gates in triumph, and the greatest city in the medieval world finally fell into chaos. The Hagia Sophia, glowing brightly for centuries as Christendom's greatest cathedral, was transformed that very same day into an Ottoman mosque. Streets that once echoed with merchants and scholars now echoed with looting, fear, and the haunting sound of an empire collapsing forever. Mehmed the Second entered the fallen city not simply as a destroyer, but as a ruler determined to rebuild it into something entirely new for all. He renamed the city Istanbul, declaring it the proud new capital of his growing empire, blending east and west beneath a single unified banner. The fall of Constantinople sent shockwaves rippling through Europe, ending the medieval world and quietly beginning the modern age of exploration. Scholars fleeing the collapse carried ancient manuscripts westward,
treasures
unintentionally helping to spark the earliest fires of the Renaissance. The Byzantine Empire, proud heir to Rome itself, ceased to exist after 11 long centuries of survival against invasion, plague, and collapse. Yet Constantinople itself did not truly
timeless tapestry of stone and soul,
absorbing new
past and present
cultures
flow as
while
one,
quietly carrying
forging
forward
an
its
eternal
ancient
legacy.
soul. Today, tourists walk calmly through Hagia Sophia, unaware they are standing exactly where an empire's final desperate battle once violently raged. The very walls that failed on that fateful night still stand today, weathered reminders of the final stand of a dying, forgotten empire itself. Historians still carefully study May the 29th, 1453, as the exact moment the medieval world quietly came to its end. It marks one of history's most dramatic turning points, the moment an unstoppable empire collided head-on with an unbreakable human ambition. The great chain across the Golden Horn still fascinates modern engineers, a desperate symbol of a city trying desperately to defy its coming fate. Mehmed's daring overland ship maneuver remains one of history's boldest military gambles, forever reshaping the very nature of siege warfare. Constantine the Eleventh is remembered today not as a failure, but as a ruler who refused to abandon his people until the very bitter end. His final stand slowly transformed him from a fallen emperor into a timeless legend, a symbol of resistance against overwhelming, inevitable odds. Even now, historians still quietly debate what might have happened had that single gate remained firmly locked on that fateful spring night.
From the
fall of one great empire quietly became the birth of another.
These were not just
trade
routes of
routes,
commerce,
religion, and
connecting
power
vast
across two
empires across
entire
3
continents. Even now, the ancient stones of Constantinople remember, holding within their cracks the quiet echoes of an empire that refused to ever surrender. If you enjoyed uncovering this forgotten turning point in history, take a moment to subscribe for more cinematic journeys through the past. History never truly disappears. It simply waits patiently beneath fallen walls and forgotten cities for someone to finally remember it again. And though the empire fell that morning in 1453,
through the ashes
its
of history,
story still echoes quietly through the
timeless
ancient
city
stones
rises.
of modern Istanbul. Tell
Witness
me in
the
the
rise
comments
and
below
fall of legends.
which lost
Discover
city
the
or
secrets of
forgotten
the ancient
empire you
world,
once brought
hidden
back to
for
life
centuries
in
beneath
our
the
very
dust of
next
time.
cinematic reconstruction.
This is the
Constantinople may have fallen that night, but its walls, its legends, and its final hours continue to captivate the entire world centuries later. Because some
in this
endings are
ancient
never
city,
truly endings
every
at
dawn
all.
is a promise of
They are
renewal,
simply the quiet beginning
a timeless
of an
bridge
entirely
between what
different,
was and what is
unwritten
yet to
story
come.
ahead.